the fall of sophomore year is when Christy and I met, and I wanted to start dating her, and so right from the beginning, I was like, all right, I want to be very methodical and slow paced about this. I want to be very calculated. Our first date was by design a group date. That was a thing. That was a thing. So your first date is a group date.
It was great when your Bible study, your men's, again, these were not co-ed Bible studies. InterVarsity, scandalous, they would do that. Campus Crusade would never do that. So the men's Bible study would pick a women's Bible study and come up with like an elaborate way to ask them out on a group date.
That's cute.
My Bible study did that with some girls over at Peace College.
Group dates do take off the pressure of a date in a way. It's like, do I really like you? Do I really want to have a one-on-one date? Of course with Christy, I certainly did. We went out on our second date, which was just the two of us. And then—
Was there an elevator involved?
There was—
You would have never done that.
Yeah, I don't think there was an elevator. But I was, she started getting involved in Campus Crusade. She came from a background of, she went to church her whole life, but it wasn't this like all-encompassing devout crusade level thing that when she got involved in crusade, she didn't know half of what she was getting into about how devout we were and how devout I was. But so when I would say, you know what, I only want us to talk on the phone once a week. We can kind of pick like a phone date and then maybe once a month we can go out on a date. Like early on in our relationship, I was saying things like that because I knew that like if this really started to pick up steam, I was gonna have to start making these decisions about a physical relationship, and it was just really scary to start to flirt with going back to that battle that I had with my previous girlfriend. I didn't want to do that. And Christy's like, the way she characterizes it now, her perspective is like, it was strange.
It was strange even within I never questioned it at the time. I thought, Link's a little odd, but I know you so much better now than I did then, which is the weird thing. And so—
Because I know myself that much better as well.
And it was like, I
didn't know why
I supported you,
deep down.
I supported it because it felt like your particular application of the system that we were all sort of subscribing to, but it never really registered with me just how strict of a system it was.
We didn't hold
seeing
hands.
each other once a month.
Yeah.
You're gonna see each other
for the first few months, and then I think we started picking up steam.
You saw her at the weekly meeting every week, probably.
But a date started out once a month, and then only talking on the phone once a week, and we didn't email each other, and there was no text. That didn't happen.
Text didn't exist. We didn't have cell phones.
And as we started getting more serious, and I guess it got to the point where you might start to feel like a normal couple would say that they love each other, is when I said, I just want you to know that my perspective on love, and this is kind of something I invented. This was not like a Bible teaching, but it was, again, I wanted to take the most devout stance I could. And I told her, I was like, listen, I'm not gonna tell anyone I'm dating that I love them until I know I want to be with them the rest of my life. So if you hear me say I love you, it basically means, will you marry me?
Right.
And she was like, this is strange. She didn't say that.
That's in the book, by the way.
Yeah, but what she said was—
So you didn't really come up with it.
What book?
I Guess Dating About.
Oh, it is? See, I never read the book, but I took all the principles from it through advice I was getting. I'm surprised I didn't read the book, but Christy was like, there was also something appealing about someone who was so devoted to God and devoted to her purity as well as my own.
That's what they were being, the women, that's what they were being told in their—
This is the kind of guy you want.
Yeah, that's what the women were being told in their breakout sessions and their conferences, is that you want a man who is running towards the Lord with passion. So basically, because he's gonna be the spiritual leader, he's gonna be in charge of your spiritual life, your children's spiritual life, the rest of your life. You gotta make this choice, you gotta get this right.
Run towards God as hard as you can, and then look to your left or right and see who's running with you, and that's who you should be with.
Yeah.
Was another analogy.
But then kind of follow him a little bit.
And so I wanted to do that. We didn't hold hands or really touch in all of our dating life. We knew we weren't gonna kiss. Well, I think we talked about we might wait until we get married to kiss. We started dating that sophomore year. By the next summer, I went on a summer project for 10 to maybe it was 11 weeks in Santa Cruz. She was staying back home, and I basically broke up with her because I said, I don't want to have this long distance relationship thing going on. I want you to be able to devote yourself fully to God and not have to worry about me, and I want to be able to do that in Santa Cruz too. Now I didn't date any other girls, and we still talked.
You dated God.
I dated God, but we still talked. We wrote letters to each other, and I think we did hop on the phone some. My granddad passed away in the middle of that, and I came home. She met me. You were gone. You were also on summer project. Like all of my close guy friends,
not masturbating at all,
were also gone, and that was a very pivotal moment in our dating relationship. Even though we weren't technically dating, when she was there for me for the funeral and the dealing with the grief of losing my granddad, and it really bonded us together. And we were both seeing in each other a devotion to God that was extremely attractive, and there was so much alignment. I came back from that summer and we dated more seriously, so much so that by the next summer when she went on summer project without me to Santa Cruz, same place, even though there's lots of places she could have gone, we didn't break up. In fact, that was the summer when I was trying to figure out, I want to do the right thing. Is she the right one? God, give me a sign. And if not, I'm just gonna read all these books so I can write a dissertation on why we should be together. The moment she got home from Santa Cruz that night is when, even though I didn't have a ring, I got down on one knee in her parents' yard and proposed. And right after I proposed, and she said yes, and I explained why I didn't have a ring, but I promised I was gonna get one.
Link. That's why you didn't have a ring.
I was supposed to propose 2 weeks from now. That was the agreement I had with your parents because they were gonna keep the secret, but I couldn't keep the secret. Again, so much pent up.
A lot of pressure on yourself.
Pressure. That she said yes, I stood up, and that was the first time we kissed.
How was it?
Was after we got engaged, immediately.
Tongue?
Definitely tongue.
Wow, you went from not kissing, not holding hands to tongue.
It's like riding a bike. I mean, it all came back to me, but even better this time. But I wasn't like pedaling. I wasn't straddling her. Huh. But that did happen later.
Which we'll talk about when we talk about our engagement.
So yeah, I mean, throughout our whole dating, I remember the first time we held hands, it was just like an emotional, I almost jizzed in my pants.
Yeah, it didn't take much back then.
Because yeah, we were dating for months and months, and then like when we held hands on the beach that day, it was like sparks.